On August 16th, 1977, Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, passed away at the age of 42. His final words, spoken to his fiancée Ginger Alden, were hauntingly mundane. "I'm going to the bathroom to read." Hours later, the world would learn that those were the last words he ever said. That morning began like any other in the Presley mansion, Graceland. Elvis had been up late. He was nocturnal by nature and had spent the early hours of the day reviewing plans for an upcoming tour. He was scheduled to fly to Portland, Maine, that evening to kick off a new string of performances. Despite ongoing health issues, he was determined to keep the show on the road. Around 7 a.m., Elvis told Ginger he was going to the bathroom. She had stayed up with him through the night, as she often did, and as he disappeared behind the door, he brought a book with him, a common habit of his. Time passed. Ginger eventually grew concerned. Elvis had been in the bathroom too long. She knocked on the door, but there was no answer. When she entered, she found him unresponsive on the floor. Despite the frantic efforts of medics and a rushed trip to Baptist Memorial Hospital, he was pronounced dead at 3:30 p.m. The world was stunned. Fans poured into the streets outside Graceland. Across the globe, people wept over a man they had never met but felt they knew. The grief was immediate and immense, but it also came with questions. Initial reports from the coroner listed the cause of death as cardiac arrhythmia, an irregular heartbeat. But the full story was more complicated. Elvis had suffered from multiple chronic health problems for years, including severe hypertension and coronary artery disease. He also struggled with substance use, relying on a cocktail of prescription drugs to manage pain, anxiety, and insomnia. While drug abuse wasn't listed as the direct cause of death, many experts believe it contributed significantly to his declining health. At the time of his death, Elvis's physical and mental health had deteriorated. The once slim rock icon was bloated and unhealthy. Friends and associates reported he was often tired, slurring his words, or forgetful. Yet despite all of this, he remained committed to performing. He loved his fans and felt a deep responsibility to continue entertaining them. The scene at Graceland in the days following his death was something the world had never seen. Tens of thousands of mourners descended on Memphis. Fans camped outside the gates, left flowers and candles, and stood in silence for hours to pay their respects. The day of his funeral, a motorcade led his casket through the streets as fans lined the sidewalks. It was a moment frozen in time, an outpouring of love and loss for a man who had changed music forever. Elvis wasn't just a musician. He was a cultural revolution. From his earliest days at Sun Records to his iconic '68 comeback special and his sold-out Vegas shows, he represented a seismic shift in American music. He blurred the lines between black and white musical traditions, bringing rhythm and blues to mainstream white audiences and changing the sound of pop culture. He was bold, electric, sensual, controversial, and the world had never seen anything like him. His death didn't diminish that. If anything, it cemented his place in history. Elvis's posthumous fame has never really faded. Graceland is now a pilgrimage site, drawing hundreds of thousands of visitors annually. His catalog continues to sell. His image is stamped on everything from postage stamps to Halloween costumes. And each year, during Elvis Week, fans still gather to honor him. But for those closest to him, it's those final moments that linger. Ginger Alden, who discovered him, has spoken publicly about his final day many times. She said that though Elvis was dealing with personal struggles, there were still flickers of the man she loved. Warm, funny, charming, curious. That morning, as he prepared for yet another tour, he didn't seem like someone on the brink of death. Just a tired man reaching for a book to read on the toilet. The banality of his final words adds to the myth. "I'm going to the bathroom to read" isn't what you expect from a global superstar. It's not grand or poetic, but maybe that's what makes it so poignant. Elvis wasn't just a legend, he was human. In the end, he did what many of us do, sought a moment of quiet solitude with a book. But unlike most of us, he never returned. His passing left a permanent mark on the world. Yet even now, decades later, people still debate the details. Was it the drugs? The heart disease? The pressure of fame? Maybe it was all of it. Elvis was a man carrying a lot. Expectations, pain, adoration, isolation. And eventually, it caught up with him. Still, Elvis Presley's legacy remains one of the most powerful in music history. He changed what it meant to be a performer. He broke rules. He sparked trends. He influenced generations of artists across every genre. And even now, the mere mention of his name brings a flood of recognition, nostalgia, and admiration. His final words weren't meant to be famous. But like everything else about him, they became a symbol, a reminder that behind every icon is a person, and behind every headline is a quiet moment that speaks volumes. So when Elvis said, "I'm going to the bathroom to read," it wasn't just a goodbye to Ginger, it was unknowingly a goodbye to the world.